We're about to break down 9 reasons why most people can't handle power. These aren't surface-level ideas. They're the kind of truths people ignore because they're uncomfortable. But ignoring them is exactly why most people stay weak, predictable, and replaceable. Right now, you believe you want power. But belief is cheap. The test begins the second you feel uncomfortable. Most will click away at reason 3, maybe reason 5, because it will feel too real, too close to their own weaknesses. And those are the same people who will always be ruled instead of ruling. Each reason in this list is connected. You'll notice the first few sharpen your awareness, the middle ones harden your mindset, and the last one changes how you see every single interaction you have from now on. If you miss even one, you won't have the complete picture, and an incomplete picture is dangerous. Here's why you should listen to all 9. Most people don't lose power because someone took it from them. They lose it because they never saw the slow leaks. By the time they realize, it's already gone. I'm going to show you where those leaks are and how to seal them. What you hear today will give you an advantage over the people you deal with daily: colleagues, friends, rivals, even family. And if you pay attention, you'll start noticing patterns in human behavior you've never seen before. That's the edge most people will never have. So listen carefully all the way through. Every second matters. And at the end, I'll give you one phrase to drop in the comments. Your signal to me and to yourself that you're one of the few who can take this knowledge and actually use it. Most people can't handle power because they can't control the frame. The frame is the invisible lens through which every conversation, deal, and interaction is interpreted. Whoever controls the frame controls reality, at least in that moment. When you walk into a room, the room already has a story about you. It's not always accurate, but it's there. If you don't rewrite that story instantly, you're living inside someone else's version of you. And the brutal truth: most people are perfectly fine letting others define them. They'll adapt to the room instead of forcing the room to adapt to them. Powerful people reverse this. They set the terms without announcing them. They influence the tempo of conversations without seeming to try. They make others explain themselves while they remain unshaken. It's not about aggression, it's about gravity, the kind that pulls everyone into your orbit. The powerless try to win arguments. The powerful make their position the default reality so that disagreeing feels unnatural. This is frame control, and without it, you are a guest in every situation instead of the host. Your first mission: stop defending yourself. Stop over-explaining. Every time you justify yourself unprovoked, you're telling the other person their frame is stronger. Hold silence. Let others feel the weight of your stillness. Type it in the comments now if you understand. I own the frame. That's your first step toward being untouchable. Machiavelli warned rulers, it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Most people misread that. They think it means be cruel. No, it means balance mercy with the visible capacity for violence, the capacity to inflict consequences if your mercy is betrayed. Here's where most people lose power. They confuse kindness with safety. They think if they treat everyone well, they'll be respected. But in power, mercy without the sword is an invitation to be used, tested, and eventually overthrown. Think of it like this: the wolf pack doesn't respect the alpha because he smiles. They respect him because he can destroy any challenge in seconds, and yet he chooses restraint. That choice is the difference between a ruler and prey. People must know, without you having to say it, that crossing you comes with a price. If they see you as only kind, they will keep taking until you have nothing left. If they see you as only ruthless, they will unite to destroy you. The art lies in appearing merciful while keeping the sword in sight. This is psychological warfare. Mercy should feel like a gift they're lucky to receive, not a right they can demand. That's how you maintain loyalty without becoming soft. Most people can't do this because they want to be liked. they want applause, and that need for validation is the rope that strangles their power. Your second mission: audit your relationships. Who takes without giving? Who disrespects boundaries because they know you'll let it slide? Show restraint with those who value you, but let the disrespectful feel the cost. Type it in the comments: my mercy has teeth. That's how you survive in a world built on leverage, not love. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must be seen enough to inspire, but not so often that he becomes common. In other words, scarcity creates value. The more people can access you, the less they respect you. The more they see, the more they think they understand you. And when they think they understand you, they can predict you. Predictability is the death of power. Most people fail here because they think power is about being everywhere, always posting, always talking, always proving themselves. That's not power, that's performance. And performers get replaced the second the crowd gets bored. True power thrives in selective exposure. You appear only when it matters, and when you do, you speak with precision. You let mystery work for you. The unknown makes people lean in. It makes them guess. It makes them talk about you even when you're not in the room. That's leverage without effort. In politics, business, even relationships, overexposure breeds familiarity, and familiarity breeds contempt. If they feel they can read you, they stop fearing you. And when fear is gone, rebellion is just a matter of time. So you must create distance, not arrogance, distance. Give the world just enough to know you're still in control, but never so much they can map your moves. If they can anticipate you, they can counter you. If they can't, you own the game. Your third mission: remove 20% of your visibility starting today. Speak less, post less, reveal less. Let absence sharpen your presence. Type it in the comments: my silence makes them wonder. That's the difference between a leader they obey and a friend they exploit. Machiavelli made it clear: rulers who cling to fairness as an absolute will not last. The world does not reward fairness, it rewards results. Power is not a courtroom where everyone gets the same treatment. Power is a battlefield where outcomes matter more than ideals. Here's the truth most people can't swallow. Fairness is a concept for the governed, not the governors. When you are in power, your duty is to preserve your position and the stability of your domain, not to make sure everyone feels equally satisfied. The fatal mistake: believing that playing fair will protect you. It won't. In fact, the people you treat fairly will often be the ones who betray you first, because fairness makes you predictable. Predictable rulers are easy to manipulate. History is full of leaders who died clinging to the illusion that they could treat every side equally. They forgot that human nature is not equal. Some people are loyal, some are opportunistic, some are parasites, and treating them all the same is not justice, it's negligence. Machiavelli advised: favor those who strengthen your position and cut loose those who weaken it. Give loyalty to the loyal, opportunity to the useful, and nothing to those who drain you. Not everyone deserves the same access, the same resources, or the same trust. Fairness feels good in theory, but in power, it's a form of self-sabotage. The crowd will always call for fairness, but the second it no longer benefits them, they will demand exceptions. When you bend to please everyone, you break for everyone. Your fourth mission: audit your circle with cold eyes. Reward performance, punish disloyalty, remove entitlement. Never confuse equal treatment with wise leadership. Type it in the comments: I choose results over fairness. That's the mindset that separates those who rule from those who watch rulers fall. Machiavelli understood this long before the digital age. Control the flow of information, and you control perception. Control perception, and you control reality. Armies, money, influence, they're all downstream from information. Most people think power comes from what they have. In truth, it comes from what they know, and more importantly, what others don't know. If you know something others don't, you have leverage. If you let everyone know everything, you have nothing. This is why kings had spies, why empires used propaganda, why corporations guard their data like gold. Money can be stolen, armies can be defeated, but information, properly managed, can prevent both before they happen. The weak give away information freely. They overshare in conversations. They post every detail of their life online. They reveal plans before they've secured the ground. Every piece of information they give away is a weapon in someone else's hands, and they do it because they crave recognition, a craving that makes them easy to predict, easy to undermine, and easy to destroy. Machiavelli advised rulers to conceal the real designs of the state. In your world, this means your goals, your moves, your alliances, your resources, all should be on a strict need-to-know basis. Speak in layers. Let only the trusted see the full map. Here's the brutal truth. The person who controls what others see, hear, and believe controls the outcome without ever having to force it. By the time others realize the truth, you've already moved 3 steps ahead. Your 5th mission: audit your mouth. Ask yourself before you speak, does this information strengthen me, or does it arm someone else? If it arms them, say nothing. Silence is your shield, and controlled truth is your sword. Type it in the comments. I control the narrative. That's not just a mindset, it's the foundation of lasting power. Machiavelli knew it. The easiest way to remove a ruler is to make him react. Emotion is predictable. Predictability is exploitable. The moment your enemies can pull your strings, you're not in control anymore. You're a puppet who thinks he's holding the crown. Most people can't handle power because they can't handle themselves. They confuse power with freedom to say what they feel and act how they want. But a ruler who acts on impulse is a ruler who telegraphs his next move. And once they can predict you, they can defeat you. Here's the cold law. Your feelings are private property. No one is entitled to see them unless it serves your strategy. Anger, frustration, excitement, pride, keep them off the table unless you're weaponizing them. Yes, even positive emotions. Smile when you win, and you've told the world exactly where your victories are. Scowl when you lose, and you've told them exactly where you're vulnerable. The powerful use emotion as a mask, not a mirror. They choose when to display it, how much to display, and to whom. A well-timed pause can shake a room more than a scream. A calm nod can terrify more than a threat. Control doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you decide when the world gets to see something. Machiavelli's principle applies here. Appear human enough to connect, but never so human that they forget you can crush them. Your unpredictability should be deliberate, not chaotic. Your 6th mission: never react instantly. Delay every emotional response. Even a 5-second pause is enough to break someone's attempt to provoke you. Over time, they'll stop trying because they'll realize they can't move you. Type it in the comments. My emotions serve me, not them. That's the difference between a ruler with a throne and a ruler on borrowed time. Machiavelli understood that control isn't always about force. The most effective rulers didn't just defeat their enemies, they made their enemies owe them. Because a man in your debt is not just bound by obligation. He's bound by shame, pride, and the silent knowledge that he needed you to survive. Most people think debt is about money. It's not. Money is just one form. True debt is psychological. It's when someone's reputation, opportunity, or survival is tied to your generosity. When they owe you, they are less likely to move against you, because doing so would require admitting they were made by you. This is why rulers in every age have given gifts, granted titles, and rescued rivals. Not out of kindness, but out of calculation. Every favor creates a weight, and the heavier that weight, the harder it is for them to act freely. Machiavelli advised to keep those weights balanced, enough to keep them tethered, but not so much they feel trapped and desperate to break free. Here's where most people fail. They accept debt instead of creating it. They take help, they take advice, they take opportunities, and every time they do, they give someone else leverage. They forget that every hand that feeds them expects a return. In power, being in another's debt is the same as giving them your leash. Your seventh mission: reverse the dynamic. Stop owing, start owning. Extend help strategically, not casually. Keep records, mental or written, of every favor you give. Never call in all your debts at once. Let them sit like loaded traps, ready for when you need influence without public conflict. Type it in the comments, "I own the chains," because in the real game, debt binds tighter than fear and lasts longer than loyalty. Machiavelli warned princes that alliances are built on interest, not affection. In his words, men are ungrateful, fickle, liars, and deceivers, loyal only while it serves them. An ally will march beside you in battle, but the moment your power weakens, that same ally will be negotiating with your enemy. Here's the mistake that kills rulers: confusing the warmth of alliance with the permanence of friendship. Power is transactional. Even the closest ally is calculating what they stand to gain and what they stand to lose by staying with you. That calculation happens silently, every day. The weak fall into sentiment. They start to believe their allies would never turn on them. But history is a graveyard of leaders who learned too late that loyalty without leverage is a fantasy. Caesar had Brutus. Napoleon had Talleyrand. Business empires, political dynasties, even crime families, all have been gutted from within by allies who saw a better deal. Machiavelli's principle is simple. Keep allies rewarded enough to stay, but never so powerful that they can replace you. Rotate influence, divide rewards, make sure no one person can hurt you without hurting themselves. And most importantly, always have a replacement ready before you need it. Your eighth mission: audit your alliances. Strip away sentiment and look at the pure exchange of value. If someone's loyalty relies solely on shared history or feelings, it's unstable. Turn that loyalty into dependency, financial, strategic, or reputational, so walking away costs them more than staying. Type it in the comments, allies by interest, not emotion. Because in the real game, friendships fade, but leverage endures. Machiavelli understood the truth most people refuse to face. The higher you rise, the fewer you can trust. Power is not just a throne, it is an island, and the stronger your position, the more isolated that island becomes. Most people can't handle power because they can't handle solitude. They crave constant validation, endless conversation, the comfort of having their people close. But in real power, proximity is risk. Every person who gets near you is a potential leak, a potential spy, or a potential traitor. The cold reality is this: leadership is a narrowing circle. At first, you may stand among many. Then you stand among a few. Eventually, you stand alone, surrounded not by friends, but by players watching for an opening. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must be both a lion and a fox, strong enough to frighten the wolves, cunning enough to detect the traps. Both of those require distance. This is why so many fall. They think they can carry power and still live as they did before. They think they can keep the same relationships, share the same vulnerabilities, trust the same people. That thinking is a death sentence. In the world of power, every confession is a weapon waiting to be used. Your ninth mission: train for isolation. Get comfortable with silence. Build your own counsel, books, strategy, discipline, so that your strength comes from within, not from the crowd's approval. When you no longer fear being alone, no one can corner you by taking people away. Type it in the comments, "My throne stands alone." That phrase will remind you, if you can't survive isolation, you can't survive power. Now, you've heard all 9. If you're still here, you've proven you're not like the rest. Like the video, subscribe to Dark Tactics, and turn on notifications. Because in this game, the ones who keep showing up are the ones who win.